That works. You're on.
Okay, welcome to the Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, September 9th. We'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next item is approval of the agenda. Has everybody seen that in their packet? Pretty short, one item, basically. Is there any discussion on it? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion to approve
A second?
and a second. All those in favor say aye. Motion passes. Yeah, that was the agenda. Yeah, the agenda. So now we have to approve the July 8th Planning Commission meeting minutes. Any discussion?
I just appreciated that the black bear conversation made it into the minutes.
The what?
I thought it was pretty cool.
The black bear?
Oh, the black bear.
The black bear side.
Yes.
Important things.
Really important.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes, excuse me. Make a motion.
Is that a motion?
I make a motion.
Motion to approve
Second.
and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Department, commission liaison, other reports. I noticed that we don't have anybody from the council tonight.
Mike could not attend this evening.
Mike could not attend. So, Eric, do you have anything to enlighten us about? Don't make something up. I mean, you got that look on your face like you're trying to make
No,
something
no,
up.
no, I got nothing terribly exciting and,
You got nothing, okay.
no.
Well, let's move on then. Visitors, public comment. There's nobody in the audience other than the applicant, so we'll pass by the visitors' public comment. So up next, we have public hearings, Waite Enterprises, PUD amendment, and CUP. Scott?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the Planning Commission. We have a request from Will Zintel, representing Waite Enterprises, for a planned unit development amendment and conditional use permit. It'll allow for the use of a vacant lot for outdoor storage at 5570 Memorial Avenue North. PUD CUP, planned unit development conditional use permit, is required in that a storage area with fencing is being proposed for the property. The site has been vacant, and Waite has been using it for temporary storage. Property is zone B3, Highway Business District. The property has gone through a couple of PUD approvals in the past. In 2006 were two warehouse buildings and a cold storage building, and then in 2008 to allow for a two-story office and warehouse building as well as cold storage. Obviously, since the property is vacant, Mr. Zintel did not construct the properties as planned, but it was part of the PUD and remains so. Will has provided a little bit of background of what he plans to do. I think long-term, they're looking to, as their business continues to grow, is to build a new office warehouse in front of the new fenced area of the outdoor storage area. So long-term plans is that this would likely eventually be developed, at least the front part of it. Indicated the property is zoned B3. Within the B3 district, the open and outdoor storage areas, including parking of commercial vehicles, as a permitted accessory use, and it's accessory to the other businesses as part of the PUD, requires a conditional use permit. Mr. Zintel has indicated that construction equipment, building materials, and finished exterior panels ready for delivery will be stored on the site. According to our provisions in the B3 district and in our zoning ordinance in general, the site would need to be screened. The setbacks are complied with. He is pulling the storage area 10 feet off of that south property line adjacent to the post office. Pervious surface coverage is fine. They can do up to 80% impervious surface coverage, and with phase 1, he's looking at 26%, phase 2, 48% total for the site. Fencing, the plan shows an 8-foot cedar fence at the front and south sides of the site to provide screening, and then a 8-foot chain link fence would provide separation between the existing businesses with a gate of the Wind Park Business Center. Plans to install a couple light fixtures, so what he has shown is compliant with the ordinance. Grading, there will be some storage of fill material for a while. That would be subject to the city engineer and the Browns Creek Watershed District if required. At least he is going to be doing some grading that he has updated since I had done this report. Also, there are some trees on the site. Most of it is scrub. I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at it. There's some really nice cottonwood trees, really nice cedar trees. I will add a condition as part of the recommendation on it, just in case their city arborist goes out and recognizes something. But from what I can tell in my look, it's junk trees essentially. So with that, I went through the conditions for approval, at least the criteria for approval. Did not see any major issues with that. It would be well screened. And the one thing that I would add, a couple things I would add to the conditions of recommendation, that in number 4, where it says the site plan shall be subject to review and approval of the city engineer, I would say the site plan and any stockpiling of field material shall be subject to review and approval of the city engineer, because the silt fence, so you can see his updated site plan, and you can see those areas, kind of oval area to the left of that line that divides the two phases would be his stockpiling. But again, we would have the city engineer, just probably put together a memo just indicating, any conditions that he sees for that stockpile. And again, it requires silt fence or erosion control fence. The other condition I would add is number 5, all tree removal shall be subject to review of the city arborist. If a tree replacement plan is required, it should be subject to city arborist approval. I don't think that's going to be required, but at least we have that condition just in case she finds, miraculously a 32-inch diameter oak tree somewhere that we missed. So don't think that's the case. But those are the two changes to the condition that I would recommend. And we're going to take this, Will, to next week's city council meeting, pending action by the planning commission. So,
Okay, thank you.
any questions?
So I assume the stockpiles are temporary? That's the black dirt that's going to recover it
Spring,
at some point? Okay.
when we put the addition on the 5650 building.
Yeah. Does anybody in the planning commission have a question for the staff? Otherwise, we should have the applicant have an opportunity to say something if he.
I was just curious, is there a reason that we couldn't have taken care of this at the last meeting? Because this was, has to be
It's
phase 1 and
it's
phase-
another,
Okay,
it's a different request
okay,
for a different thing, so.
okay.
Will, did you want to add anything to that or not? And
No, I mean-
you don't need to, but it's,
No, I mean, basically, we were in before, put the addition on the 5650 building.
yeah.
And then in the process, with not building right now, we want to build in October, but we can't get steel until next May. So then we have storage of stuff outside right now. And we decided to go this route and fence in that vacant lot. Then we can get everything moved on to there, clean up our parking lots. And, it's good to the tenants, it's good to everybody else, that people might just look at it. We want to get screened, so. That's what we decided to do. Long term, it'll actually be nice that we have a staging area to put our panels and
I think the only other question I had is when I went back there to look, I was surprised how much residential stuff is down kind of on that street down there. I don't know what the name of the street is. There's Memorial Drive out in front.
Oh, you're talking about 55th Street?
Yeah, so.
east and west one?
Are they given any notice of
That's-
changes in that?
That's in Lake Elmo.
Oh, is it Lake Elmo?
It is in Lake Elmo.
Oh, so we don't care?
No, well, it's not that. It's not that so much as that, that the city limit line goes right down 55th Street.
Sure.
And so, there are also some residences to the west, but they're on great big parcels and they're on the other side of the pond.
Okay.
So, but all of those people would be notified, whoever was in the, in the circle.
I'm not certain how far 350 feet goes. It'd be from the outside of the property line.
Right.
It may or may not, but we would have notified them if there were.
Right, even if they're in Lake Elmo, they get notified.
Sure.
I mean, if there's something going on within that circle of their home,
Okay.
so.
And I did talk to Carol Palmquist.
Okay.
And I showed her what I was doing. She came over. She's the one behind me, and she was fine with this.
Yeah, and she's in Lake Elmo as well, right? Yeah, so she's in Lake Elmo, yeah.
But that spread, I think, is 500 feet.
Is it, I thought it was 350.
Oh, you know what? That's right.
Is it
Worked with a
500?
number of cities. Oak Park
Okay.
Heights went to 500 feet.
Okay.
There
350.
was a
Right.
majority of people down the line.
Yeah, the ones south of 55th Street that are part of that, that development that, what's his name, did a number of years ago.
We do say 350 in the ordinance, however, we just.
We
get a
just been doing
$500
500
just
feet,
to
yeah.
save people saying, well, where is the 350 line?
Oh, okay.
Is it my property? And we just go say 500, so.
Well, and do you guys do that yourself, or do you have the county do it?
Well, the applicant has to get it from the county.
Okay, so the county does it, and what happens is, they got a GIS program, and if it touches one corner of their property, they get added to the list, so.
Triggered.
Better to go overboard than not
what we
overboard, so yeah, if we're going 500 and the ordinance only says 350, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and that one dwelling's still pretty far away.
Huh?
I think that one dwelling's more than 500
Yeah.
feet. I'm looking
Well,
at it on my phone.
Yeah, those
Like, it's
houses on
pretty
the other
far
side of the
away.
pond they're a good ways away, but the property line actually, I think that runs out in the water.
Yeah, I think so.
So it, the limit goes from where the property line is through the middle of the water there, so. And if they're within it, even if their house, I mean, if they got 10 acres, but one corner of it touches, which they adjoin the property, so they're definitely have been notified. So if there isn't any other questions, well, first of all, we should open the public hearing. So I'm going to open the public hearing at 6:16, and there's nobody here, so do we have a motion to close the public hearing, or?
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, there's one item that was in the staff report that Scott mentioned that we might want to look at, and that's the Class 5 versus bituminous.
Oh.
And I, to my way of thinking, this is obviously not the final use for this property, to have a fenced-in storage area. So making them spend a bunch of money when no one can see it, and there isn't any erosion because there's a berm along the back there, it can't get to the pond. I just don't see any point to paving that. It's just put down more, well, I mean, I guess the gravel is still considered impervious surface, but it just speeds up that water, and I don't see any point to it. So does everybody kind of concur with me about that?
Yeah, I had the same thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
okay,
kind of curious.
okay.
What was
I kinda-
staff's concern?
Huh?
Did staff have any specific concerns?
No, but because it is one of the conditions of that section of the ordinance, we thought we needed to bring it up and have you discuss it. But I think the key point, and Tim hit on it very well, is this is a temporary situation.
Right.
Will has indicated that, if they build a building in front, they're going to properly do the storage area down the road. And we can condition it that.
Yeah. With an 8-foot cedar fence on part of it, which is the only place the public will be able to see it, and then this chain link fence with those slats in the chain link where you can't see through it anyways. I mean, that's just to screen the people that already are renting from it. So, I mean, I don't see how anybody's going to see anything.
I see no benefit
Yeah,
of
yeah,
paving it.
okay.
Okay, well, is there
Anything,
any
it's just
other?
gonna get destroyed during the construction because you can use it for storage. So it makes more sense for me to have the gravel, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so too.
And gravel's really considered impervious?
It is. It's enough, it's solid enough that it doesn't have the same coefficient number, but it's so close that they just figure that it's impervious, so it doesn't really change that at all. No. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know these things. Is there any other questions there or any other comments anybody wants to make before we entertain a motion here?
I did have one question driving onto the 5610 building side. I don't think it's on the plan, but you got a fire hydrant on one side and a transformer on the other side of this gate. You don't have to move the hydrant. That's enough
The
for.
only reason I'm that wide is so I can get our big crane through there.
Yeah, it seems wide enough to fit a trailer, but
Yeah, we have a gantry crane, and that thing's about 24 feet wide, so.
I wondered why you had the
Drive on one side
28
of the
foot.
fire hydrant, drive on the other side, I can drive it right, put it right up inside there. So that's the only reason we went that way.
So the gate's 28, is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a massive.
that's so we can get the big blue in there.
Yeah, okay.
So if you've been out there, you've probably seen that big blue thing,
Yeah.
so.
just don't get distracted and miss your 2 feet of clearance.
He's probably not the guy driving it. I'm guessing.
No, that's my son.
Yeah, it's his son's, which would be even worse. If they were to bang into the fence, it'd be worse than having one of your other employees do that.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier when it's family.
Yeah. Well, easier for you. Probably not for them so much. I had a son working for me, that didn't work out very good.
Okay, is there anything else then? Any other comments? Okay, are we ready? Somebody ready with a motion?
I move we recommend approval, subject to the 5 conditions as presented.
Just
Okay.
With the amendments.
one
by-
point, yeah, I got a couple amendments. Let me
Oh,
go
we-
through those again, just so you're clear. On number 4, the site plan and any stockpile and field material shall be subject to review and
Okay.
approval of the city engineer. And then I added number 5, moved 6 down. All tree removals shall be subject to review of the city arborist. If a tree replacement plan is required, shall be subject to city arborist review, approval. So I'll put those in the resolution if that's acceptable.
Yes, I amend my motion.
Okay, and we didn't, do we have a second for that motion? Okay,
Second.
so we have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
And as I said, we'll take
Thank you,
this
sir.
to next week's city council meeting on Tuesday.
Next week?
Next week. No, it's it's the first meeting of the month, so it's the 14th.
Well,
Well, then why
that's
have-
what we've done. Wait, here's the thing. We can take it to next week. Normally, we push it to the 2nd. If Scott's ready and you want it to be next week,
I got the resolutions drafted, and I'm not here on the 28th, so I'd
well,
rather
then
do it
that
on
answers
the
the other half.
What does
I'm
that,
pushing it.
Getting pushed.
then my question is, I'm supposed to be a representative, it's down later in the agenda here, but for the 28th, so if that's the case, if we're going to recommend that they put it on the 14th, then I suppose I should go to that meeting instead.
Sure.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of having me there is in case there's questions about, okay, we'll have to
You're
change
able,
that.
that'd be awesome.
I'm pretty sure that I can make that. The 14th, you say?
Tuesday.
Yeah. Find out if it's one of my kids' or one of my grandkids' birthday or something, but. Okay, thanks, Will. Well, yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be next Tuesday night. And it's at 6 o'clock as well. Council meetings are at 6, so. Yep, thanks.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Will.
Yep.
Next order of business is new business, and we have none. Well, next, after that is old business, and we have none. So the last thing, or second to last thing is informational. The upcoming meetings, and then council representative, which I think we're gonna change, the 14th, for me. So, I guess that's all we really need to do is discuss that. That leaves us with our last item on the agenda, my favorite item on the agenda.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Is there a second?
I second.
And we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Thanks,
We're
everyone.
done.